Hey guys, Kit here. According to my calendar at work, July 8th was Video Games Day, and that got me thinking about video games. Incidentally, today, the 15th, is National Tapioca Pudding Day. I wish I could make something like that up. So, I guess I'm going to do a short series of videos that have my sort of history of video games in them. Well, my first experience with video games was, of course, Super Mario Brothers. I was born on the same year that the NES was released in America, so maybe it was fate. I got babysat a lot, and they always seemed to have Super Mario Brothers or Mario Brothers 2 or something like that, and I really liked it, so I kept asking for it. And of course, my parents then, as now, think of video games as like an inferior form of entertainment. So I kept asking for Super Mario Brothers. I want Super Mario Brothers. And dang if they didn't get me Super Mario Brothers. They got me Super Mario Brothers, the Game & Watch game. Yes, it exists. And as you might think, it doesn't have a lot of the features that you would think of in an NES game. So I kept asking, and eventually they got me a used Game Boy with Mario Land and Tetris, of course. Even though it was used, it was in good condition. They still had all the boxes and manuals and everything. But so yeah, that was this being my first video game system. I really liked it, but there was sort of this lingering feeling in my mind, like what this thing was. It was fun, but it wasn't Super Mario Brothers. But I did have a lot of fun with Super Mario Land anyway. I didn't actually have a lot of games growing up. This game, like, there's a story behind that. I've told it in my actual LP of this game, but back in the day, there weren't like GameStops or anything sophisticated like that. There was like these rundown shops where you could go to, and they would have games, and they would be like all out of their boxes and, used and whatever. I think I brought my Game Boy there and actually played some of Metroid 2 in there, and my choice was that or this game, which was in its box and everything. And I chose this game. Now, if this game had happened to be Mega Man 2 for the Game Boy, that might have been one of the worst choices I could have made gaming-wise, but as it happens, this game is pretty awesome. So, I love the heck out of this game. What I don't love is the password system, and I was had too much of a short attention span to write those passwords down a lot, and of course would never carry them with me. So, yeah, I ended up playing this game a lot, and apparently haven't got very much better. But anyway. So yeah, this game actually has a bit more polish than the NES game. I never actually owned the NES game. I just owned I just rented it a lot. That was the thing. I was like, they were always looking for some frugal way to indulge my video gaming obsession without actually spending a lot of money. So, what else did I have for the Game Boy? Have you ever heard of Yoshi? Yoshi, it was a puzzle game. It wasn't a very good one, but I still played it. You had, like, various Mario enemies. You had the shells of Yoshi's egg, and you could sandwich enemies between the shells to make Yoshi come out. That was pretty good. I think maybe it was a little better than Dr. Mario. But that came out on the NES as well. And obviously the Super Nintendo was already out then, but I don't think I actually knew that. So the Game Boy era is weird because it lasted actually a lot longer than the NES era. And so you could always have the Game Boy to fall back on. And I played the heck out of this game. I also got Darkwing Duck. I LP'd the NES version of that, but actually the Game Boy version wasn't a lot different. And there's a bit I fell off of my lawful good alignment there. I was supposed to have the game to take on a trip to Pennsylvania, and I was supposed to save it until then and not play it, but I ended up like playing it and going over to the next door neighbor's house to secretly play it, and I secretly beat it, and it was awesome. So during the trip I played it again and beat it again and proclaimed that I had beaten it, but I did, and it was fun enough to play twice, I would guess. I also, I remember I never had a subscription to Nintendo Power, but I would read my friends, and I heard about the Pokemon craze back when it was called Pocket Monsters, and they made a big deal out of it. I'm like, this is going to be so awesome, and we hope that it comes to American shores, and I hoped it would too, because I had started to get wise to the fact that games didn't always come out in America. They sometimes would just stay over at Japan. But, you know, eventually Pokemon did come out, and it was pretty awesome. And when it came out, I made all the typical newbie mistakes, you know. I got Charmander because I thought it would be super cool to be on the harder side or whatever, because they said, oh, it's going to be harder if you choose Charmander. And, you know, he ended up with like 3 fire moves and Slash or something. But yeah, eventually I got better. And then, you know, Season 2 came out with Gold and Silver, and I got Silver. And I used to play it in the school bus, train my Pokemons there. And since the school bus always seemed to play rap music, I had the weird connection of Pokemon with rap music for a while, and that creates some amusing mental imagery for me sometimes. But yeah, it's been a wild ride for the Game Boy. I still have all of mine, that is, even the old ancient artifact Fat Boy, which, as it is somewhat affectionately known now, it can probably be used in a few years to summon some ancient powers or something like that, because it's so old. I don't know if it's appropriate to talk about the Game Boy Advance here, but the whole Game Boy era, I had bought like every iteration: the Game Boy Pocket, the Game Boy Color, and finally the Game Boy Advance. Since I didn't actually get a SP or a Micro, it wasn't that crazy. But that was the Game Boy kind of, you know, spans the major iterations of gaming in my life. I used to joke that I took the Virtual Boy Advance, or Virtual Boy. That'd be the day. I never actually had a Virtual Boy. I used to joke that I took the GBA everywhere, and I pretty much did. I took it to Hawaii, the lovely island of Kauai. I took it deep inside the cavern of the caverns of Carlsbad, and let me tell you, real life caves are pretty cool. And where else did I take it? I did not take it to Washington, D.C. I rue this fact. I took my fat DS there. It didn't deserve it. It was a newbie. I lament my error. Well, going back to Pokemon, that's how I actually met Rome, was on an AOL Pokemon message board, you know, back in the dark ages of the internet. Known him for about 10 years now. And so, yeah, we met over Pokemon, where I wrote some astoundingly bad Pokemon fanfiction, and got an award for it on AOL. Yeah, that's something to talk about indeed. So yeah, I got... What am I doing here? Anyway, I think that should probably wrap it up for the Game Boy segment of my history of video games. Next, I'll of course do an NES segment. It was the second system I got. Oh, and guys, don't forget, July 18th, that is Cow Appreciation Day. So be sure to mark your calendars. This has been Kit signing off.